It is May the 29th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is a Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec site in the St.simons Sound. And again, out on the site, we're seeing what really is beginning to feel and sound like cutting going on. And the main straps, the main support straps, are just not cut or attached to the rack. Maybe this is a new tactic that they're trying, but from what we saw and could hear today, it actually sounds like they're working on cutting it. And the angle of the chains would appear that they've got a little bit of tension on the rack. So we kind of did a little ride around today, and we kind of sped it up so you can really see how the cutting blocks are vibrating and shaking as this chain is kind of getting pulled and snatched through the rack. It's large chain. It's each link, we've been told, weighs roughly 70, 80 pounds. They're almost 2 feet in length, the actual links are. And when you see this kind of motion with the chains, there's a lot of movement going on with the chains, and they're moving around and kind of jumping around, and we're hearing the bangs and pops that we've normally associated with the chain as it is cutting on the Golden Ray. So yeah, possibly a new tactic they're seeing here. We've had some people comment that this may be a preventative measure in the event there is a second fire that occurs, that they would be able to move the VB quickly off the wreck without having to worry about putting anybody on top of the ship to undo the straps. We know that was part of the problem last time. The ship was still attached to the rig. But today we did see the 4 environmental boats were out on the site, working the site, looking for debris and contaminants coming off the ship. So they were out there. Shout out to those guys, ever vigilant, doing what they do day in and day out. Even though we had a little wind today, it was kind of coming out of the southwest. So the sound was really not that bad. A little bumpy in a couple places, but because it was a land wind, didn't have a lot of time to generate a lot of wind energy, so it wasn't too terrible out on the St.simons Sound today. Now, looking at the chains and seeing the progress, we gotta kind of think that they are making decent progress with the chain. Before the fire, we did notice that they looked like they were getting pretty close. And again, we're beginning to see that top chain right up there, top side, and working its way across the deck. And then that inshore side chain, it's pretty far up on the hull as well. So, looking at a time thing in here, if things go well, they may get this section, this is section number 3, separated from the wreck sometime in a relatively short amount of time. We're going to be watching it to see, but from what we're seeing, it is moving along at a pretty good clip, and they seem to be making some progress. Now, the afternoon did probably around 3:30, 4 o'clock, we had thunderstorms that kind of rolled through the area, and that kicked up a little bit of wind. And inclement weather is probably never a good thing when you're out working in a marine environment, but we did have some of that. Hopefully this moves out quickly, and the weather improves for the crews that are out working on getting the Golden Ray removed out of the Sound. But here, yeah, a really good shot of that especially that right hand or offshore chain, how it's moving across the top. And again, we can see that this chain in the hull is making pretty good progress. And keep in mind, as that chain progresses up that ship, the metal, that material in there, gets a little thinner on the outside skin. It still has those interior decks and whatever vehicles or supports that it has to cut through in the hull area of the ship. But that outside skin begins to get thinner as you would get to what would have been the top side of the ship. That's why that offshore chain seems to make so much progress as compared to that chain that is on the hull side of the ship. I know we don't say it enough, but we really appreciate the support that you guys have given the channel and watching this process evolve as the Golden Ray is getting cut. Again, thank you very much for you guys being a part of this thing. But we're going to ask you, if you're just catching the channel for maybe the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Get in there, find some of the previous videos, look at those if you really want to know the story, and you'll probably have a lot of your questions answered if you'll go back and start watching the earlier videos. Well, hey, send us some comments if you can, and most of all, I want you guys to stay safe out there.